Hi Booktube, welcome to Jackie's Lyric Corner. I am Jackie, and now I'm going to show you what I got for Christmas this year. Now, there are some things I can't show you because I don't have access to them, or they're just too much of a hassle to bring up to my room to show you on screen. Um, but I have this organized in showing you first the items that I got that have nothing to do with books whatsoever, and then the book adjacent items, the books that have to do with books but they're not books, and then the books themselves. Okay, so first, let's like us. So first off, so let's talk about something that my parents got me that's not book related, and that was a grill. A not like those big grills that or like a not like those big outdoor grills, but I mean something portable, and I don't know what else to call it. But I don't cook that much. I don't really know how to cook. I can cook some things. And I'm 33 years old, going on 34 in like 6 months, 5 months. But my disability kind of makes it difficult for me to cook, and so I never really learned. And I've always lived here with my parents, so they've done most of the cooking. I can do a few things like make a grilled cheese sandwich, and I think I could do spaghetti. And then, those box meals, of course I can follow directions with a little supervision. And that we have a gas stove in this house, and that makes me nervous. That blue flame makes me really nervous. I don't feel comfortable around it. But this all has to do with my disabilities. My fine gross motor and all that. So cooking has been a challenge for me. And my grandma a few years ago got me this little mini grill, or I don't know if you call it a grill or not, but where I could potentially make one pancake, like one at a time. And I also could cook fried eggs, but I couldn't do it sunny side up. I didn't know how to do that. But then that one kind of broke on me. I kind of broke that one, and it was small. Like I said, I could only do one thing at a time. So my parents got me a little bit bigger one, like a mini stove or grill. I don't know what you call it. I guess it's more like a stove. um like a grill thing where I can put the pan on there to cook the food and stuff. I wish I could show you to you so you guys know what I mean, because I don't know what it really is. But and we just did something my mom worked on. We just tried making a grilled cheese sandwich for me the other day. I didn't do it. My mom did it just to, we had company, and she was cooking other sandwiches. Reuben's for my dad and his friend. I don't like Reuben's, so she was cooking that and was like, "Let me just do the sandwich for you." And I, stood there and watched her go through the process, and she did it more slow. I mean, she knows how to do it, but she was doing it slow for my sake. So I got that from them, which I really like, and I have to start using. I was gonna use it tonight, but then my dad was all like, "Well, let's go out to eat," because my mom went to see my grandma. I guess she has an appointment, in a couple days, and so my mom went to go see her, and so it's just me and my dad. And my mom made us some soup, and I was gonna make a grilled cheese sandwich for tonight to go with it, but then and he was gonna make another Reuben because we had enough stuff for him to make another one. But then he was like, I have a meeting tonight at the golf, at the clubhouse, and why don't you come and we'll just eat dinner there. So we're not gonna. So I ended up eating soup for lunch, but I didn't make grilled cheese sandwich because I wasn't sure about making it by myself without someone there to, if I accidentally set things on fire or something. So, yeah, so they got me that. I was gonna use that tonight, but then, like I said, my dad suggested going out to eat, so I'll make it another time, maybe tomorrow. Um, so my parents got me that, and one of my aunts came with my cousins to visit. They brought, of course, gifts for my sister's little ones. They get, like, those kids made out. Those kids got a lot. They got treated a lot of nice gifts, like nice toys and stuff. But they also, in our family, we all feel like, I think we all get this from my grandma, that, you know, And maybe even my cousin's grandma on their mom's side maybe is the same way, where you still feel like, unless you agree upon it, you still feel like, even if you're adults, you still want to give each other bring something. So she brought myself, my sister, and her husband, and probably my parents too, a little something. So I got, one of the things I got that wasn't a book related thing was Bombas footy socks, which I've heard very comfortable, and I finally wore them, and I can say they were very comfortable. I always need socks because I always run out. I have trouble cutting, again, fine gross motor skills. I have trouble cutting my toenails. And then in my basement, before we moved here, we had a basement, and we had a very slippery floor, a very, like you slide on. I like to spin on it like I was dancing, but spinning motion, because I really like that motion. And I would always put holes in my socks, and holes, whether it was in the toes or on the heel part. So I always run out of socks, so I always need those. And of course socks just get worn, worn out eventually, and stretched and all that. So I ended up, so she got me a pair of those cute these cute little Bomba socks. And then my other aunt, when we went to go see, so we could spend the holidays with my other grandma, we went the first week in January. And so my aunt, I got, from my grandma, I got, what's the other thing? Do I have it? Can I show it? I don't have anything. I don't know if I have anything to show you guys. What did I get from her? A sports bra, which I'm not going to show on the screen. I got that from her, but from my grandma. And then my other aunt got me this Carhartt hat, which I think I actually like better, because I have another hat that's a similar color to this, but it's not. But I don't know what brand it is, and it's not as I feel like it's not as long. It's kind of short compared to this one. So I'm really glad she got me this one. This is from my other aunt and uncle and cousins. And then she also got me this cute little pouch. It's for, like, I could, when I go to work, I can wear it. I mean, I think I can wear black, because stuff like this I don't know if I can wear at work, but I think I can, as long as it's black or the color of my shirt, because so this either I can wear it when I go running, although I feel more secure. I think it'll be better to wear when I'm at work, because when I'm walking or running, I'm moving, so I'm worried about the security of it unless I tighten it. I could, which obviously I could do that, because I have another one for, and I think this Lululemon brand, I think, but she got me, but I think I might use this one, I could also use this one for work, for, like, carrying my cell phone in, and, if I need cough drops or something, or, like, a little money if I need to, buy something. But, yeah, so these are cute. I like these. These come in handy. These are very useful. Okay, and then, now let's talk about things that Terry got me that weren't book related. So the only thing that Terry got me that wasn't book related is these two, Jack and Sally. I didn't have Jack and Sally Funko Pops yet, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to limit myself at some point, because so Daniel Green, he does these roast videos of people's bookshelves. They send him pictures of their bookshelves, and he gives them a grade and comments on them. And there was one guy who sent him a picture with the shelf was mostly full of Funko Pops, and he keeps them in the boxes, which I guess they say that they're worth more, but I like taking them out, and I don't plan on selling them. And who knows what's gonna, who knows if this is really gonna be worth anything. They say they will if you keep them in the box, but I don't know. I mean, they're not, I think it's gonna be like anything else, where certain ones are gonna be worth something, but not all of them. And it's mostly those. And Daniel Green is notorious for not liking Funko Pops. And he was giving the guy a hard time, like, you sent me this shelf, because it was mostly Funko Pops. And I'm just thinking, oh, I hope I never become that way. I hope I never have that much, because there are a lot of shows where I would love to collect the characters in Funko Pop form. But I mean, especially because when I was a kid, I was not one of those kids who had like those figurine toys that I played with. I mean, I had Beanie Babies and dolls, and Barbies, but I didn't have like action figures or anything. Like, I wasn't a girl who got action figures. I remember I think Terry had action figures, and Christina Tercero was action figures, but I never had them. So, I don't know, because there's a lot of shows I would love to get these Funko Pops for. But this is Sally. This was when she's carrying that basket that she gives to Jack. And this is no particular version of Jack, but, yeah, these are so cute. And then, but yeah, there's a lot of like the Mandalorian ones, and some more Buffy ones, and Supernatural. But yeah, like, I would love to have all the characters from Buffy or Angel. But I do have to draw a line, so I have to limit myself, because I don't want to be that person. So I think that's the only non-book related item that Terry got me that I could, I think the rest of it's book related that she got me. Yeah, I think so. And then the last non-book item. So this is DVD of one of my favorite musicals by Andrew Lloyd Webber. And it's not a musical that's for everyone, but I personally love it. I love the music. I know all the songs, most of them by heart. And that is Jesus Christ Superstar. This is about the last week of Jesus Christ's life before he got crucified. So it's a rock opera, so it's all singing throughout. So if you're not into that kind of musical where it's all singing throughout and there's moments of instrumental breaks, but there's no dialogue. It's all singing. I mean, that's what a rock opera is. And what I love about this musical is that it makes these biblical figures, a lot more human and relatable, which I know is surprising if you know anything, but I really do think that's true. Like, Jesus doesn't want to die in this storyline. He is questioning if he should, he knows that he has to do this, but he doesn't want to do it. He feels like he could do more with his life. And he's scared. And then you have Jesus, who loves Jesus. Judas and Mary Magdalene love Jesus, but they don't know what to do with their feelings. And Judas doesn't like the direction that things are going with Jesus Christ. He's confused and frustrated and disappointed. And you have Mary, who's has never loved anyone, and she always runs away. She always leaves. And she loves Jesus. And then you have Pontius Pilate, who is put in this position where he knows, he's supposed to be in charge. He's the governor of this place of Jerusalem, and he's questioning himself. He's like, he has this vision of this man that everybody loves, these people love, that has done a lot of good, but then people are like, because of the Roman government, they're like, he needs to go, he's causing too much trouble. But then he also realizes that part of his vision is being like, after people, he has to crucify him, and after he does that in this vision, people go after him and are sad that Jesus is gone, and and they're all blaming Pontius Pilate for it because he was the governor. So he wanted to help. He wants to help Jesus. But he's like, at the same time, he knows he's the leader. He's in charge. He has to make a decision, and he knows that people will be mad at him if he doesn't. So he's conflicted. So it's like, they make these biblical figures more related to us today in this rock opera. And like I said, I always wondered if people would be like, if people would have a problem with this. People that are of that group would be offended by something like this, because I know there's this whole debate about Jesus being godly or being human, being seen as human. I wonder if that was, of course, it just this musical originally came out in the 70s, and the movie came out in the 70s, so I don't know. But this is also the guy who directed Fiddler on the Roof, Norman Jewison. But it's such a great musical. Like I said, it's not for everybody. I acknowledge that, because, unless you're Christian or don't even know about Christian mythology, if that's what, and then there's the whole fact that it's a rock opera. But I love this. My dad played Judas Iscariot in the stage production in our local community theater in Maryland, and it's always been part of my life. And I love it. I'm so glad I finally have a copy, because I had a VHS copy, but of course the world moved on, and it became DVDs and then Blu-rays. And then what's the other one? There's another one now. Ultra 4 UK or something. Ultra 4K or something. But yeah, I love this. It was so much. Okay, so I think that's all the non-book items. Now let's talk about the book adjacent items. So first we have one more thing. We have, so the aunt that gave me the Bomba socks also gave me a gift card. Because like I said, she wanted to give us each a little something, also not just the kids. So I got a $35 gift card, which I already used. I had my reasons. I'll actually explain them when I show you some of the books I got. And then we have, and then Santa gave me a gift card as well. And of course I got the candy and all that. But I got a, $25 gift card, which I haven't used yet. Now, the one for my aunt, I still have $3 left on it, so I'm gonna have to use up those $3 and then I can throw it away. So it was good. I did not wait. I mean, maybe even smarter if I waited, but you know what? I have it, so. But anyway, so, and then the other things that are, okay, so one of the things that my sister got me was this cute little bookmark that came with the book she got me. She's been giving me some very creative bookmarks, some very cute bookmarks. And I've used, and I don't know, I'm curious how I'm going to use this one. I have to use this one. But yeah, I liked, this one is very cute. Has my initial on and this cute little design, and just the only thing is my mom, because it kind of fell on the floor, she almost threw it away, because it looked like just a piece of cardboard. But yeah, I thought that was really cute. I like all the cute little bookmarks she got me. And then, so, if there's anything that my parents got me that was, well, I guess the grill. So the rest of this book adjacent items that were not, that aren't books, are what some of our Tara gifts. So first she got me this cute little mug, which I used this morning actually. It is, I am not a bookworm, I am a book dragon. I love this book. I love this mug. I couldn't decide. I had to go through those mugs and see which ones I liked the best, but it's really hard. So, but I would, what I really should do is just have a mug shelf in my room, because my mom is not going to be getting rid of her mugs, and that's her kitchen. So I won't, and she doesn't have a lot of room, so I should have a mug shelf so I can keep all my mugs, because until I one day move out and get my own place. That's what, I should do, because I have quite a few now. I have the Ravenclaw one that I use over here for my bookmarks. I have one with an owl on it. over there. I have pens and pencils in it. I have a couple that are already downstairs, like a Christmas one with gnome on it from family friends of ours. I have one with book quotes, quotes from literature that Terry got me last year. So I could start until I get my own place. I could do that, just put them on the shelf. But I'll have to ask my dad to give me a shelf. But yeah, but I could bring it up to him tonight. I'd be like, one day maybe if he could make me, like, I know I have that one coat rack that I would like him to hang in my closet. But I also talked to him about I have a bunch of mugs, and Mom doesn't want to change up her mugs because she likes the size of them. And so maybe I could get a mug shelf until one day I get my own place. Which hopefully won't happen anytime soon, because I think when that finally ends will be when they're gone. So because it's just easier for me to live with them, and it's not anything wrong. I'm very fortunate that I do. But but yeah, this is cute. I really like this. And there's a few more. I'm not gonna take anything off my list. I'm gonna keep them on there and continue. I'll get a mug, and then maybe, like I said, I can ask my dad to maybe make me a little shelf or something to put my. So the last two things are actually more DVDs. Well, one of them's a DVD and one of them's a Blu-ray. So one of my favorite Jane Austens is Emma. I love Pride and Prejudice, but it's not my number one. And I almost feel like it's more of also partly to do with the fact that everyone loves it. So you know what? I'm not gonna make it my number one because everyone else does. And it's not that I'm not genuine with that. It's just, I gotta admit there's a little influence of everybody loves that one, so so just because everyone else doesn't mean that, I'm gonna make it my number one too. But this is the 2009 version. I think it came out in 2009. Let me see. Does it say? Oh, wait, 2010. Unless 2010 was when it came out on DVD. But I think this is the 2009 Emma. I have not seen all of the new one. I know that's a lot of people's favorite. I haven't seen all of it. I will at some point. But this is the one I like. I'm not, I liked the Gwyneth Paltrow one a little bit more than other people did. But I actually, now that I've seen this one, I think this is my favorite adaptation so far of Emma out of the three of them. And there's actually an actor from the Charmed reboot in this one. And I like the main characters. I like the actors. I like Michael Gambon being Mr. Woodhouse. Like I said, I have not seen the other one completely yet, the most recent one, which I know it's everyone's favorite so far. But, and one of the things that's nice about miniseries is that it still can be seen as a movie, but it's not as long as a TV show. So it doesn't have to take a lot of stuff out like movies do. It can still do its own thing, but it doesn't have to take out too much. Because movies have a time limit and everything. So there's that. So this is really great. It stars Romola Garai. I don't know how to say her name. Johnny Lee Miller, Michael Gambon, and Tamsin Greig. And it's really good. And it's just funny how Jane Austen, sees Emma as a character only she could love. But now I think half the audience does love Emma. Like, I think it's very much, she's very much popular nowadays. People love characters like Emma, who are outgoing and fun. Obviously not everybody. Probably there are some people who get annoyed by her. But I think most people are very much charmed by her. And she's not she's not a mean girl. She does say some teasing things and is one of the key moments, one of the key scenes is when she's very mean to this one older woman um, who she's very much talks a lot. And our Emma at one point is like teasing her and kind of making fun of her. And that's really the only time. Because after she gets scolded by her best friend, Mr. Knightley, she feels horrible. Now, it's partly because, I think at first it's because of him. She feels bad that he called, she doesn't want to disappoint him. But I think she does feel bad that she was mean to Miss the woman as well. So she's not a mean girl. Because I think she really cares. And it's a wonderful adaptation, very beautiful adaptation. Like I said, I have not seen the whole newest one, but I mean, that one might be a close second to this one for me. And then the other one that Terry got me was, so you guys know earlier this year, in 2022, back in October, I read Discovery Witches. I have not read the second one, which I do have the second. I ordered the second one because on Thrift Books there was a deal that, the price went down the second and third book. I didn't get the third book, but I did get the second one so I could watch the second season, read the second book, and then watch season 2. Because Terry spoiled me with these. She got me books one. Oh. Okay, good. So I wonder if they're here. So she got me seasons 1 and 2 because, unfortunately I cannot watch this on TV because I might have to buy it. I have to actually buy it anyway, so may as well get the DVD or Blu-ray. So I got the Blu-ray, which it's so funny how they do. Well, although there might be a case in this one. I'll have to look. I have to check and see. I don't think I got a case like this for this one, but which is weird that they do that, where a first season will come out this way and then this. But I don't know, maybe it has to do with price or something, the cost, or maybe switching, or I don't know. But this is season 1, which I just watched, and it's pretty good. It's pretty close. I was a little sad they didn't have the yoga stuff, but you know what, that would mean they would have to pay a bunch of extras. And, maybe they saw the yoga stuff as a little silly, but I was kind of sad that they didn't have the yoga, which is something that they bonded, her and the, Diana and, Matthew bonded over. One of their bonding things, which I thought, I was a little sad they didn't include that, but that's okay. Other than that, it was really good. It was very good, very close to the, the book. So I'm glad I have these, and I'm wondering, since there's only 3 books, I wonder if they're only doing 3 seasons. Like maybe they're only kind of like with Sherlock, the show Sherlock, which, although I don't know if that show's done. I mean, I think it's been quite a few years now, so I think they're done with that show. But that one had very short seasons too. I think that's a BBC thing. I think it's a British. The UK, I think, if anyone is a UK, subscriber on my channel, do you guys just have shorter seasons or series, I should say? Because I do believe I saw comments where people said that you don't use the word seasons, you call them series. So do you have shorter series than us, I guess? I don't know. But let me know. I'm curious how your TV, how it works on your side of on your side of the world with TV shows. But anyway, I'm so glad to have these. It's so much fun to have them. And there's some Doctor Who actors in this. They have the one when Waters of Mars, the main woman in that episode plays Matthew's mom. And Jezebel, or I don't know how to say it. I have to hear it again how her name is pronounced. And then Alex Kingston, who played River Song is in this as one of Diana's aunts. And this guy was in Game of Thrones. He was the guy who gave Jon Snow a hard time. I can't remember his character name. And it's funny, Bad Wolf is the name of the production company. So there's that. Okay, so I think that's all the non-book related items that I can actually show you, that I can show you. So the rest is books. Okay, so first, we have, let me check. Okay, so all the books that Terry got me. Terry spoiled me this year, which is why Terry definitely spoiled me. There's one book I got that I don't know if it was from her parents, which I feel bad that I don't know, but I cannot remember. So these are all the Terry gifts. The books I got from Terry. First, okay, so this was one of the one. So this is where the gift card comes in, where I used. So Terry got me Alloy of Law, and then my sister got me Bands of Mourning, but she did not, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't say it on the books. I'm wondering if it does. I don't think it says it. I have not looked at these covers yet, what the actual image is, but it doesn't say it on the, I guess it doesn't say what number the book is, so they didn't know, so I don't think anyone knew. So thankfully my Terry did give me the first one, and my sister got me the third one, and so I ended up buying myself, where is it? And buying Shadow of Self. So most people love these covers, but it's the UK covers. You guys have great covers. Most of the time I love your covers over ours. If I have any UK subscribers, I love your book covers. And so I wanted to get these. Unfortunately, I would get them off of like a used bookstore, like Thrift Books. But every time I go on there and decide I want to get it, it's gone, because these books are very popular. This edition. So these white covers. I mean, look how beautiful they are. Like, your publishers know what they're doing. And so I went to get these. So if I wanted them, I put them on my Amazon wish list. And like I said, my Terry got me the first one. Thankfully, it was the first one. And my sister got me a third one. And so I bought myself the second one. I know there's the Lost Manual that just came out. I haven't got it yet. But I also wanted, let me read these first three, and then I'll get the Lost Manual. Like, there's quite a few series that I have that I need to get the last book. Like, I need to get Wrath, which is the last book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. But I'm going to try to read the third book, and then I'll get Wrath. Maybe I'll get Wrath for my birthday. But, yeah, these are so beautiful. I love these covers. So I did start reading them. I got to chapter 2. So, yeah, I only got as far as chapter 2, but that's because I'm reading The Wolf, and I'm trying to focus on getting a book finished before I jump into another book, before I focus on another book, especially because I had worked 3 days in a row, 11 to 5, so at work I don't get a lot of time to read. I get like my 15-minute break, and then, you know, if I bring one of my salads with me to eat, then it's kind of hard to eat that and to read a book at the same time. So, unless I did, like, audiobook. So, yeah, this is one of Terry's gifts. And then the rest of the gifts from Terry are, no, not the last one, but a lot of, 3 of the books she got me are nonfiction. So, I got non-fiction. So, first is this one. So, Back to the Future was my first sci-fi trilogy that I ever got into. I remember when before the Simpsons ride, and I think it was at one time the Jimmy Neutron ride, it was the Back to the Future ride, and the storyline was that Biff stole the DeLorean, and was causing mischief in time, and so Doc Brown charged the riders to find Biff and stop him and get the time machine back, which is kind of the plot of the second movie, kind of, loosely. And then my dad told me about the movies, and I remember we actually got the first two were not at Blockbuster, because remember Blockbuster? So we only got movie 3, which is the Western, when they go back to the Old West. So I think that's probably why that's still my favorite to this day, because it was the first one from the trilogy that I watched, I think. Yeah, that's where I bought it. Did we buy it? I think we had a copy of it on VHS. I don't remember. But this is a making of it, behind the scenes of it, and this guy apparently also wrote a nonfiction on A Christmas Story, as well. So I might track that one down if I can. I don't know what it's called, but unless it's in here. I don't know. Oh, I bet that chapter is on the actor Crispin Glover not being in the second movie. Yeah, and it's also a nonfiction that's not gonna take that long to read. So this was really cool that she got me. And then, okay, before I talk about those, let me just talk about this one, and then I won't talk about those. She also got me this. This is about the Stephen King universe. So Stephen King was the first author to do that, establish kind of a universe within his books. And what's really cool is all his books are about different things and different characters, but they're all kind of connected. Like, and there's references to other characters, like a lot of them take place in the same location. Like, you either have stories that take place in Derry or stories that take place in Castle Rock. And all of them are in Maine, of course. Both those places are in Maine. And this is a guide to his universe. Now, I haven't read everything. And the problem is, some of it I'm not sure if I want to read. Like, I don't know if I want to read Cujo. Because a dog going rapid is terrifying. And I'm a dog person. But yeah, I thought this was so cool. I'm so glad you got it for me. It's so cool to have this. Because I've always wanted to, like, a deep dive into Stephen King's world and his universe, and just because everything, like I said, is connected. Like, it's so cool when authors do that. Like, bring everything together and combine it all into, connect it, link it together. But yeah, this is really cool. And it's a revised and updated version, which includes the Dark Tower series, which he finally finished a few years ago. But yeah, this is definitely. And then the last two books. Okay, I want to say these two for last. So, in case you don't know, I am 25% Filipino. My grandma's full-on Filipino, but she's married to a white man, and that means my mom and my uncles are half. And so I and my sister are 25%, and so are my cousins. And some of us look more Filipino than others. Like, my cousins that came for right after Christmas on Boxing Day, they don't look it as much. In all honesty, they don't look as Filipino as myself and my sister. Or, I mean, we don't look that Filipino, but we have the darker features. And then, I have the one boy cousin in our family. He has the darker features, and then his sister does not look. But I think that's because both my aunts are, Caucasian and Southern. So it's like, but, So I don't know a lot about the Philippines, and I don't know its history. I wasn't raised to be be connected with my culture, the Filipino culture. My only connection to it is like my grandma's, she didn't lose her accent. She still has that Filipino accent. And of course all the food that she cooks, the rice and the pandesal bread and the pancit. And there was that one thing I always forget what it's called. Not egg rolls, but their version of egg rolls. I cannot remember what it's called. But I don't know a lot about it. I never even learned the language. I mean, there's words and stuff that my grandma uses I hear all the time. Words of endearment and stuff like that. Or when she's talking on the phone to her family members and friends that are Filipino. So, and of course there's her quirks and everything, but I don't know a lot. So I was determined to find some books, like fiction and nonfiction about the Philippines. So I put these on my Amazon wish list. So we have, and these are ones that Terry got me. The History of the Philippines, from Indios Bravos to Filipinos. And I know there's Spanish and Chinese influence in the Filipino culture. Let me look at these pictures. So it always bothered me. I always felt, as I've gotten older, I realized I need to get more. I feel like I should know more about it because it's part of who I am. It's part of my identity. Maybe only in a small way, but still. I feel like I need to know more about the Philippines. And I wish, I had learned the language of Tagalog. Or at least stuck out with the Spanish. But, then the other one is Noli Me Tangere. I still don't know, by Jose Rizal. Probably am not pronouncing that correctly. I should know that. I mean, I did Google it. But this is about this guy on the cover is a very famous historical figure in Filipino history. He's someone they look up to, and and the title refers to an allusion to the Gospel of St. John, where something that Jesus says to Mary Magdalene, "Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father." The title is "Touch Me Not," and the author, these are such delicate matters, such important matters that they cannot be touched by anybody. That's what the title means. So obviously I can't tell you what exactly it's about, but I know it's a very important time in the history of the Philippines. And I think my grandma said this was during the time of the Spanish national hero. That's the word I was looking for. It's it doesn't say. It was during the Spanish Revolution, I think, or something. I mean, my grandma told me, but I don't remember. So I'm thinking about waiting until May to read these two books, because that is my birthday month. I thought it'd be perfect to read about a small part of my culture via my birthday month. So, and also it is Asian Heritage Month. May is, so but yeah, so there's that. So that's all the books from Terry, with the exception of Bands of Mourning. And then, other than Bands of Mourning, my sister also got me. This is really cool. So, This was actually it's technically a gift from my nephews and niece, but the oldest is only 7, so I don't think they actually physically bought the books, but my sister did. From an used bookstore, and that is this vintage, actual vintage, not just it's the vintage, the company's vintage classics. It's not that, an actual vintage book of Little Women. So, and as you can tell, like, it's the quality of the paper and everything is just, and then I think this painting was on the cover of my very first copy of Little Women, that I got, a paperback that, and at the time I DNF'd it because I was thinking it wasn't for me, but I have changed my mind since. But this is really cool. This is a sketch of their house, and it looks like what they did. It looks like it's very accurate. The movie, I guess, the 1994 movie did a pretty good job depicting it. The house looks exactly like that in that adaptation. Obviously, you can hear it crack, so it's very fragile. And the publication, if you can tell, but sorry, my finger's in the way. There you can. And then, and what is really cool is the copyright date is 1926. And, oh, well, okay. Now, this I was confused, because at first it was published originally in the Philippine Islands, but I guess it went to the Philippine Islands. So, that kind of got me excited when there was a reference to the Philippine Islands. But the copyright date is 1926. This is when this was published, this version. So this was really cool. Obviously, I can't read this. I mean, I could read this at home, but I can't travel with it, though. Because it's already falling apart. It's falling apart, but I thought this was cool, and I really appreciated that my sister actually got me. And there's actual illustrations in this one. So I thought this was really cool. And then the other ones from my nephews and niece that they got me. Come with this is this box. Oh, I have it upside down. We have the Hans Christian Andersen's collection of fairy tales, and the Grimm's Brothers collection of fairy tales. So this was cool. And the copyright dates for these, oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So cool. And I'm guessing, I wonder if that old man's supposed to be Hans Christian Andersen. The old man, right over. Yep, here it is. Okay, it doesn't say the year. Okay, it doesn't say the year for the copyright date on this one. But I thought that was so cool that they got me that. I'm gonna put it in this way so you can see. But I always get apprehensive about getting books like this because I'm, worried about how much space they will take up, and like I want to get these newer published books, and it's just having to decide what books. But these I feel like are collectibles, vintage editions of classics, books that you love is, just priceless. But yeah, I thought that was cool. So, okay, so that was from my sister. So like I said, and I already showed you Bands of Mourning from her. And then that. And then the last are, I believe, this are from my sister. And then I have a little book haul because I have a problem. So I think this one was from my parents. So this is Jim Carrey's memoir. Memoirs and Misinformation. Which I'm wondering if there's an audiobook, does he narrate it? I would assume he would if he made an audiobook. Oh, he's a dog person. But, yeah, this is his memoir. And I don't know a lot about him as a person. Like, I do know that he also is another person who sadly has experienced depression. You know, I just, you know, but anyway, I want this along with the Rob Williams memoir or biography too. I would love to get that one too at some point. But yeah, this is such an it's really tall. I saw one of the things I noticed about this book is it's very oddly shaped. But anyway, I just love reading memoirs, I think, or biographies about people like actors and stuff that I like, because it's so fascinating to read about them and to get to know them. You almost feel like you do know them, even though I mean, it's not like I will ever meet them in person and hang out with them or anything, but it's just cool as a way. It's like you are hanging out with them as they tell you their life story. But like I said, I don't assume that, although it's interesting that Olive from Book Olive did a video where she talked about the memoir. She did a review of the memoir by Matthew Perry. And she ended up, and I remember reading some of the comments and people's responses to it. And most people weren't keen to read it, but there were a few people that weren't, so had no interest. And one person said that they don't like reading memoirs of these people because they feel like, and buying their memoirs because they feel like, oh, they're just giving them money. And Matthew Perry himself did have an addiction problem, and it's like, they felt like, well, if I spend money and buy this book, then I'm fueling his addiction. Which I disagree with, but it's an interesting point because, these people are celebrities, and we don't know them personally. I mean, the books, these memoirs may allow us to know them, get to know them a little bit. But, I know that some people love reading these memoirs and others don't. I mean, it's like people that like entertainment news, and gossip columns and everything. Some people like it, are fascinated by it, and want to know, and other people are disgusted by it, even, and don't agree with it. But, I'm personally one of these people that likes memoirs especially because these memoirs and biographies, you get to know them, and it's their chance. And if it's a memoir, it's their chance to really, or an autobiography, to really talk about themselves, what they want you to know about them. And there's some actors that go through things that maybe they're just trying to help the world. Like Matthew Perry, I genuinely believe he really is trying to help people. And I think he's not been, I think he's been healing himself for a long time, despite that person. But I do think that was interesting food for thought conversation to have, that comment. But yeah, this was really, I'm so glad to have this. And then so I think I got that from my parents. And then the other thing my parents got me was, so this is book 7 in the Wheel of Time series. Now, I still do not have book 5, which we'll get to book 5 via the book haul. This is book 7, because I already got book 6. I got book 6 last year, so I got book 7. So the thing is, I have to get these on Amazon, because, again, this is another thing where people love these editions, really like these editions. So I can't always get them on, because I would get them off the Red Books or Book Outlet or something, but it's easier to get the mass markets than these editions. And like I said, and if I get them Books a Million, they do cost a little bit. So, at least on Amazon, it's a little bit cheaper. While, which I can check something. I'm curious. Is that Tor? Is that no? It's not Tor, because I was just reminded of one of the big publishing companies is not being fair to their employees, and their employees are going on strike, and I cannot remember what the company is, but I was like, so I was curious, but I don't think Tor's not the company. I think it's a company that puts out a lot of more romance books. I think I'm okay fantasy book wise. I don't know if any of my books are that company, but I'd have to double check on that, because that also puts me in a really uncomfortable position, because it's like, okay, let me turn this a little bit. Oh, okay, that's better. I was noticing that some, like, it was like, the lights of heaven were shining on me. Okay, so now I got a little book haul for you guys. So let me first show you the books. Okay, I already showed you this one. So I got this one because, like I said, I had book 2 and 3. And book 1 is not that long from this trilogy, so figured let me go ahead and get book 2 so that I can immediately jump into book 2, because I want to get some more trilogies read before the end of the year. Because I only got one series / trilogy finished by the end of this year, and there were some that I got really close to. Like, that's why I think I might go to the library tomorrow, because I have one more book in the Camelot years, or the School for Good and Evil, the Camelot years. Salman Shanani wrote another trilogy in that, the School of Good and Evil. So I got Shadow of Self, and then the other book I got was, the other 2 books that I got. The ones I actually got from Books a Million were book 5 of the Wheel of Time series, Fires of Heaven. HarperCollins, that was the company, in case you're interested. HarperCollins is the company that's not treating their employees well. It's the point of their going on strike. So HarperCollins. I have to look at any of my books HarperCollins. Not that I'm going to get rid of them, because I don't agree with, just because I buy books that aren't by Harper, I don't do it on purpose. I don't purposely look for HarperCollins. But at the same time, I don't agree with what they're doing, how they treat their employees. I just, I was just curious. I have any books published by HarperCollins on my shelf. I mean, I do believe they romance is one of their key genres. So, and I don't read a lot of romance, so I would have to. But I am curious if any of my books are HarperCollins. Although I almost don't want to know, because that would put me in this uncomfortable position of feeling like, should I get rid of my books that are HarperCollins? Should I not buy HarperCollins anymore? But I don't think I buy HarperCollins. I don't know which other genres HarperCollins publish. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about that right now. But this is book 5, so I can jump into book 4 finally. And then, so I have been, as you guys know, last summer when Terry was here, I bought Lord of the Rings for myself. All 3 volumes in that one, how Tolkien originally wanted it to be published. Which, that's one of those things, like, the publishers, when it first got published, and it confirms it has been confirmed to me that originally Tolkien wanted them published as one big book, but then the publishers were like, no one's gonna want to read a huge book that long. I mean, and there was a time where people published books serially. A lot of authors like Dickens, they published serially, and so people weren't used to big, huge tomes. So they were like, we don't want, you're gonna let's publish it one at a time. So that's why, even back then, it was a trilogy. Even though Tolkien did not want it to be a trilogy, it was a trilogy. And it's still a trilogy, especially because the movies. And nowadays, though, it has been published as how Tolkien originally wanted it. So it's like, on the one hand, those the gatekeepers that are like, no, Tolkien, it was one big book, it's not a trilogy. Yes, it's true, Tolkien wanted it published as one big book. but the publishers published it as a trilogy. Okay, so I think being on people's case about it and being mad at them, getting mad at them for that, is not fair, because it was published as a trilogy originally. Even though Tolkien did not want that. So yes, it's nice. It's good that you care enough to be loyal to Tolkien's vision, of how he wanted them published. But But to be fair, it was originally published as, one right after the other as a trilogy. So that's all I'm going to say about that. That's always bugged me because no one said anything to me because I'm not part of the Lord of the Rings fandom that much anyway. I love it and I am a fan, but I'm not in the fan forums and the fan sections of. The closest I've come to it is I did a role play, and that was an embarrassing role play. No, none of you will ever know about that role play storyline. It was embarrassing. And I'm ashamed of how I did it. But anyway, but that was the closest I got to and being part of the fandom of Lord of the Rings. And then, of course, my friend Christina from back in the day was, a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. Her room was a shrine. And I was envious of her room. I loved her room. And it was so cool but anyway. So I ended up getting The Hobbit, and you guys already know I got the Silmarillion. I put it on I think I've shown it on a video, on a previous book haul. So I got The Hobbit. I bought The Hobbit. When I got the 5th book in the Wheel of Time series, this book. I went ahead and bought The Hobbit, and this edition came out when the movies came out. And as I said before, I'm the minority when I say I actually love the Hobbit trilogy movies. I know people have their problems with them, and I understand. I just don't agree. I just, think they're a little judgmental of those movies, a little harsh on them. It's also because I really enjoy them. I actually really enjoy the movies. But I've not read the book in years. This is actually the only book, Lord of the Rings book, where I actually read the book, the original source material. Because it's the only one that I ever got through, because it was originally written for kids. So it's a little bit easier to read this one than the Lord of the Rings for someone who was so used to reading young adult fiction. The Hobbit was the easiest one to read. But yeah, I got that, and I got the Silmarillion, and now I have coming in the mail the Unfinished Tales, which I think I'm hoping includes the Fall of Numenor. And then I just gotta get the Fall of Gondolin. I don't know if there's any other, and then there's a Tolkien companion that I would love to get, which is on my Amazon wish list, so maybe next year. But, or maybe for my birthday. Yeah. Terry notices it. So those are one I got, and then let's talk about some of the books I recently bought. And like I said, I don't have them with me yet, but I did just order what I just mentioned, the Unfinished Tales. And then I also ordered the sequel to Discovery Witches, which I already mentioned earlier. So at first I thought the second one was the Book of Life, and I'm glad I realized this. I double checked on this, but it's Shadow of Night is the sequel, and then the third book is the Book of Life, which I think that refers to Ashmole 872. I think that's what it is. I think that's the number. So then we have these. This is what I got the other day. So I've heard a lot about Bernard Cornwell from Alan from the Books of Alexandria. I think that's just. And I've read a couple of his books, and I did like them. So I thought I would get these, and this was when I went there. It was the first time that I ever saw a bunch of Bernard Cornwell books. I don't know if all of them are there, but this is one of the series, The Last Kingdom, or at least that's what the show is called. It's one of these where the first book is named that, and then so they call the rest of the series The Last Kingdom, which let me see, where is it? I think it's in the back. Okay. So the original title of the series was The Warrior Chronicles, which I don't know why they kept it. Well, I mean, I guess when it became a show, they changed it, which is annoying because one of the things I hate is when authors just take the title of the first book and make it the title of the whole series. I mean, maybe it's a lot harder than I realized to come up with a title for a series, so maybe I'm probably not being fair, but so maybe saying I hate it is harsh, but it does bug me whenever basically they name the whole series after the first book. Even if the first book is a good title, I think they should still come up with a separate title. But yeah, it bugs that thing. And of course, so they change it to the Last Kingdom series, which is what the first one is called. And originally it was the Warrior Chronicles. It's like, come on, why didn't you keep that one? I mean, although Game of Thrones is a catchy title for that series. So yeah, book 1 is the Last Kingdom, and then book 2 is the Pale Horseman. So I believe this is the tie-in, this TV show tie-in edition. And I didn't see if there were any copies of the first book in a different edition. That's not, I didn't see that, but like this edition. But this is book 2, The Pale Horseman. And I'm glad that they have it in the back, because I was looking for in the back the order of the books. And so I can read them in order. I was looking for the order. So they have, but thankfully they have these. Now, that's not the Last Kingdom series. That is the Sharpe series, Sharpe Chronicles, which, again, Alan from the Libraries Alexandria also talked about that as well. That's his channel name, but Library, the Library of Alexandria. It's a play on Alexandria, is Alexandria, if that probably sounds... But I know this is one of his favorite series that he's talked about. And I don't know if Jennifer Brooks read this series, but I think she has read some Bernard Cornwell. This is the other series. And of course, George R. Martin has read it. Oh crap. Actually, I just noticed that it is a HarperCollins published. Huh. Of course. So, yeah, they don't just publish. This is an older book. I did get it at a used book. To be fair, I did get it at a used bookstore, so I'm not giving HarperCollins any money. I'm not directly giving them money. So, yeah, this is HarperCollins. Okay. So, they don't have the U.S. price on here. But yeah, so yeah, so they don't just publish romance. They also publish, I guess, historical fiction. So yeah, but I'm still gonna read these books because I'm still gonna read these first 2 books, and I'm probably gonna enjoy the series. And then the last thing I got, other than what I have coming in the mail soon, is this, a Tolstoy biography by Henri Troyat. Okay, I'm gonna read the back to you guys. In this definitive portrait of one of the greatest novelists of all time, Leo Tolstoy embodies the most extraordinary contradictions. He was a wealthy aristocrat who preached the virtues of poverty and the peasant life, a misogynist who wrote Anna Karenina, and a supreme writer who declared, "Literature is rubbish." Oh, wow. Yet his titanic personality and the astonishing range of his talents and interests made him as an author and as a strange, self-proclaimed prophet, one of the undisputed literary giants of the 19th century. From his famously bad marriage to his enormously successful career, Troyat presents a brilliant portrait that reads like an epic novel written by Tolstoy himself. Huh, that is so cool. And that's funny that he said literature's rubbish, he's a misogynist, yet he wrote Anna Karenina, and he was a wealthy aristocrat who preached the virtues of poverty and the peasant life. That is hilarious. That he's like I said, he's a walking contradiction. Oh, that's funny. Which I'd be curious if Caroline or Emma, the people who first kind of put Tolstoy on my radar, if they've seen this biography. If you guys ever watch my channel by chance, I'll probably do a review of this biography. I'm reading quite a lot about. I've bought quite a lot of biographies. I still gotta finish the Walt Disney one first. The problem is these are chunky boys. So, yeah. So it's taking me quite. It will take me. So I think that's everything. All my books. And then, like I said, the ones I got in the mail are coming in the mail. I got only 2. It's the Shadows of Night, and then the Unfinished Tales. I have those, and I will show those to you probably when I do a video where I talk about what I'm currently reading. Maybe I'll do that so I can show those as well. So if you guys want to share what you got for Christmas, or maybe share what your favorite... Sorry. I just noticed that light was shining really bright on the screen. Or, like, if you want to share what you got, your favorite gift you got for Christmas, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, what are some of your favorite, a book haul, your favorite book you recently bought, or books. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe if you want to, click subscribe if you, rewind, scratch that, reverse it, please give my video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click subscribe if you haven't already, and like what I have to say on my channel, and, if you want to be notified, please click the bell icon, and it will notify you when I post my latest videos. Alright, I hope you are having a good first month of your reading year, and I will talk to y'all later. Alright, bye!